Adventures of Sonic, episode 56, The Little Merhog. Why does... Oh, Tails had his fishing rod tied around his bare foot, and that got caught by a hedgehog girl with a high voice. She's a mermaid who warns Sonic about someone polluting the water. Sonic is given a submarine suit out of complete nowhere because Tails happened to have two of those for no reason right there. This is a very lazy beginning so far. In a clever surprise, it's a villain other than Eggman for a change. It's a pirate who wants to rob the sea in a submarine shaped like an octopus. Sonic runs around at super speed underwater, surprisingly, and ties something around the octopus machine to make it fall down. Sonic then is a Casanova holding the girl's hands and asking to go topside for some chili dogs. You know she's a mermaid, right? Not much you can do with that, just ask Fry. The submarine is flooded from the inside, and the captain plans against Sonic, finding out about him. The octopus robot breaks free of the anchor and sprays ink at the heroes, and it brings the heroes towards the mouth with tentacles. Then some electrical eels threaten them, but the mermaid makes whale noises to make the eels electrocute the villains and the submarine instead. So the heroes get free, and the ship is hedgehog-proof, so the mermaid leads Sonic and Tails to Mertopia, where they easily meet up with the Queen of the Merhogs. The underwater city has rocks fall from the sky in it, and Sonic runs away to be a hero. Grounder, while doing the dishes when there should be a dishwasher, sees a monster in the fridge, which for some reason Scratch doesn't find, and it attacks Grounder. Supposedly it's rotten lasagna, but I don't see how it could be. Sonic and Tails approach Grounder in stupid disguises they shouldn't have when I thought they'd still be underwater. And they say that pizza will be hard to come by once the captain takes over the ocean. Couldn't they have just sent a letter to the robots about it without insulting my intelligence? Scratch and Grounder warn Robotnik about Captain Memo while he's playing mini-golf in his lab. Supposedly, the captain and Robotnik went to school together, and Robotnik wants to get a submarine to blow the other submarine right out of the sea. Can this pacing be any slower? I don't care about the Scratch and Grounder slapstick, but I have to watch it all to review the episode. Scratch makes the sub look like him, but then Robotnik makes it have his face instead. Did I really need to see that? The sub goes underwater, with Scratch finding the captain's submarine, and Robotnik tells him to blast it out of the sea wearing a green military suit. Robotnik's scope is made to go up and down in slapstick with his head disgustingly stretching upwards like rubber, and his body sparks, which at least proves that he's an android. Why would he spark otherwise? He fires the robots in a torpedo that floods the captain's sub again. How to get rid of the water in his sub the first time? Shouldn't this kind of flood have put him out of commission for the episode the last time? So the two villain teams start fighting in their subs. I'm so bored. Should I care about this? Sonic leaves through a door in his underwater suit and returns to the mermaid as the captain's defeated by Robotnik's sub, and the mermaid goes into Sonic's arms. Scratch and Grounder figure out that Sonic was the pizza delivery guy, and plan to tell Robotnik so that the two villain teams can inexplicably join forces after they spent all that time hating each other. Robotnik, whose sub is flooded, strikes a deal with the captain somehow putting his arm around him from the other side of the screen, and Sonic spin dashes in the water to impress the Merhogs. This is so uncharacteristic of Sonic because he's supposed to hate water. Robotnik's sub rises up with Sonic and the mermaid on it, and Tails flies them, but I guess he'll be knocked out of the sky for being useful. The octopus sub shows up, holding threatening things. The show's taking so long to tell us that the captain is going to ally with Robotnik.
Captain Memo and I made a little pact.
The captain wants to turn places into condos and minibars or something. I don't care because we'll never see it happen. We don't even see it in the process of happening. The villain could have had a plan to turn the world into a hot dog for all I care, since he'll never get anywhere close to succeeding at it. The mermaid summons some dolphins like Aquaman as Robotnik's sub starts firing torpedoes at the underwater city, and Sonic rides the killer whale towards Robotnik's sub. It crashes into it, sending the villains flying, and the sub crashes into the captain's sub. The lieutenant of the captain tells him to take a memo and abandon ship on him, and Robotnik's sub is flooded again, causing him to decide to abandon ship. This whole episode feels like padding. The sub should have been put out of commission the first time their inside was flooded. How'd the water keep magically disappearing from them? Tails ties up the captain and his lieutenant to be grabbed by an octopus, and the mermaid hugs Sonic and kisses her. I can't emphasize enough, this is how Sonic should be. In the Sonic Says message, Sonic is tied up, Grounder is bored because it takes forever for him to get home, and then he starts a fire with a match out of complete nowhere. This nonsensical story is a lame excuse to lecture us about fire safety. This episode was such filler, it just dragged on and on. The submarine should have been put out of commission the minute their insides flooded, but instead the water just kept disappearing to keep dragging things out. And the show takes way too long to do stuff like get Robotnik to the point where he's fighting the captain, and get him to finish explaining that he's working with the captain. Until finally the episode ends with the sea folk beating the bad guys. Did we really need Sonic to use a disguise? Couldn't he have just sent an anonymous letter lying that the captain would conquer Mobius? Since these robots are that gullible anyways that they'll believe a random note too if they'll believe it's not Sonic? I was so bored. While the submarines look like they get damaged with them getting soot all over them, the fight keeps dragging on between the two subs without me feeling like either one is getting closer to victory. So I couldn't get invested in it. I liked how Sonic was flirting with the first girl he sees again. I don't know why it can't be like that in other continuities. But for an episode with a villain other than Robotnik working separate from him, it was such a disappointment, especially since he ends up working for him anyways. It's weird that Sonic had such an easy time in the water running through it with no ground to run on, and just conveniently having submarine suits out of nowhere because the writing was so lazy, when the Sonic I know would hate the water even if he couldn't drown in it. I feel like Scratch and Grounder figured out Sonic was the pizza delivery boy way too easily after seeing him with the Merhogs, considering how stupid they were to fall for his disguise.